Hello, welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast after dark NFL Combine Week. Become a diehard, go PHNX.com if you want the exclusive access this week. Arizona Cardinal coverage from, let's face it, the fellas who do it best. I'm Johnny Venerable. He is Bo Brack. Damon Dog here on a Sunday night behind the microphone. We leave for Indianapolis in less than 24 hours, and we are fired up, Bo Brack. It's Combine Week.
It absolutely is Combine Week, and it is we're starting to see some news kind of trickle out as far as who's going to be performing, working out this week, and already a bit of a bummer. We're not going to see the consensus top pick in Caleb Williams fire up the football. It's a bummer. No Caleb Williams throwing the football this week.
I mean, I don't know if I expected him to work out or not, but I thought we had gotten to the point where the week of was here and I hadn't heard anything. I'm like, maybe everybody's just going to do it. And not only Caleb Williams isn't throwing, Jaden Daniels isn't throwing. Jaden Daniels probably getting that strong heat from Cliff Kingsbury, like, you're our guy. Because I know Jaden Daniels won the Heisman Trophy, but I think, like, the casual fan, the people out west, we've seen him, people out in the Midwest and the East Coast, like, we've seen Jaden Daniels. And he was a staple in the South. But, like, I feel like Middle America, East Coast people would love to see Jaden Daniels. Like, Caleb Williams is a household name where Jaden Daniels isn't. When you opt not to throw, that tells me, and this could be a mistake, that tells me you feel like you're in pretty good spot to be picked high. And then we haven't heard about what our boy Drake May Bust is going to do in Indianapolis this week. They're all going to be there. They're all going to talk. They're all going to be hobnobbing. They're going to do interviews. JJ McCarthy, though, who Benjamin Albright today said was a top 10 lock. I don't know if you saw that, Bo. He is throwing this week. He is going to throw in Indy, and I do think he can help himself.
Yeah, he certainly can. I mean, I think that you're going to start to see what maybe Jim Harbaugh didn't allow us to see because it was a necessary means to run the ball down the throats of the opposing defense and just rely on their defense and really limited what JJ McCarthy could do, but still a skill set that I think will come close to, a Jaden Daniels and come close to a Drake May, and he'll show off athleticism, and he'll show off a decent arm and probably put some balls right on the money. And he has nothing but, momentum to gain during the pre-draft process where, it is a little surprising that Jaden Daniels is going to hold off. But I think as far as the way they set things up, it only benefits him to wait until his pro day. And he's throwing to two potential first-round picks in Malik Mabers and Brian Thomas Jr. And he's not going to let, some potential sixth-round pick drop a couple balls and make them look bad. He wants everything. He wants the elements to be perfect. And that's unfortunate that that's the climate that you can kind of navigate through the pre-draft process. I want to see everybody kind of work out at the same time. And fortunately, that's not the case.
No, I still think we have tiers. Like, I still think Caleb's in a tier by himself. And I think Jaden Daniels and Drake May are in a tier together. And I'm not ready to put JJ McCarthy into that tier, although Albright and others are firmly in that camp. And, could JJ McCarthy leapfrog one of those two players? That would be crazy, but we've seen, crazier things that have happened. But then there's that next tier of guys, like Michael Penix is going to throw. Michael Penix, I don't expect to be a first-round pick, but he can help himself because we've talked about it. His arm isn't the strongest. I would expect Bo Nix to throw. He looked rough at the Senior Bowl at times. You've reported, Damon's reported on this show. So, I don't know how much they have to gain by throwing the top-tier guys, but this, third group, this second group kind of tier of quarterbacks in this draft class, we'll see. They come out and put on a show. I mean, here's the pushback. I was at the Combine 2 years ago, and there was this quarterback out of Liberty that everybody loved at the Combine because he did everything. He looked fantastic. He literally helped an old woman cross the street. Does anybody remember that story?
What a sweet boy.
He fell to round 3, round 4, and it was a bust for the Tennessee Titans. Can anybody tell me who that was? So I love the Combine. We romanticize a lot about it. I'll double down. The guys who aren't throwing, they're cash. They're counting their checks right now. It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. No, it is. I think JJ McCarthy's in a spot like Anthony Richardson was last year. Only chance to catch up, right? Instead of it being, a legit 2 quarterback race this year, it happens to be 3 quarterback race. And yeah, I agree with Giordano in the chat where I don't think he's going to touch those first 3 QBs, but I think he could put himself, as Benjamin Albright's reporting now on February 25th or even before that, that he's firmly in the top 10. I mean, he's going to approach top 5 if one of those quarterback needy teams gets a little uneasy.
Does
I'm
that scare you though? Like if we have too many
No.
quarterbacks that could go top 10, like somebody could say, well, we can wait. We don't need a quarterback. We don't need to trade up if McCarthy's an option.
No, I think it's going to come down to if these 3 teams at the top like a guy, they're going to stick and pick that guy. But yeah, I think that JJ McCarthy could be the Anthony Richardson of this class, where he's only going to start his true trend upwards, potentially to be a top 5 pick. And I don't think that it would even either benefit the Arizona Cardinals as well. I think that they're going to just pick if Marvin Harrison Jr. does fall into their laps. Like, and also I gotta mention the Bo Nix story that wasn't real.
We want to talk about? We can talk about that.
Yeah, can we just debunk? Because I saw it a couple of times on my timeline, and it's absolutely absurd. So what is it? NFL rumors. It's one of those aggregate accounts, right? Where it just takes other people's reporting and then puts it out there as its own.
I would say it's worse because it reaches for. It's not even aggregate, and Dove can reach too, but it's a made up fan account.
Okay.
Right? It's a made up account.
I have no idea. I thought it was right in there with like the other, I thought it was there with Dove, and it was just taking people's material and using it as own. But regardless, what was the word that they used? The Arizona Cardinals
extensive. And that's the word I push back on. Right? Like, what does extensive mean? Like, I had some snarky people come into my comments and say, if the Cardinals are worth their salt as an organization, they do their homework on everybody. No shit. Monti Ossenfort was at the ASU Oregon game earlier this year, or he watched Oregon play live, and people reported about it. Awesome. They have a scouting report on Bo Nix. Of course they do. That's not what I was combating. I was combating the term extensive. Extensive insinuates that they are targeting Bo Nix, that they're, hey, we're going to use a top 30 visit on Bo Nix, when we know, and they're all in with Kyler Murray and surrounding Kyler Murray with the ample resources to be able to get this team back to the postseason. And like, say what you want about Bo Nix, you're going to have to use a top 50. Does anybody think they're going to use a top 50 pick on a quarterback? Of course not. So again, you got people who were snarky, actuallys on Twitter this weekend. And then you got people who are anti-Kyler Murray that are like, that's great value if he falls to 27 or 35. This franchise will burn to the ground if they take Bo Nix at 27 and 35. So again, you want to actually me? Like, they have a scouting report on Bo Nix. Congratulations. That's not what NFL Rums was suggesting. They were suggesting they were targeting Bo Nix. Come on, let's grow up.
It's absurd.
Have a serious conversation.
It's absurd. It's from the realm of absurd. That's what it is, and it's nothing short of that. And to try to lean on that this team is going to do its homework on each and every prospect. Well, yeah, I go to bed at night knowing that Monti Ossenfort does his due diligence and he does his homework on each and every one of these prospects. And I'm sure he's turned on the tape. I'm sure Dave Sears and Josh Scobie, who were out there as part of the Cardinals contingent at the Senior Bowl, and we're watching Bo Nix throw ground balls like me to my son in 10 years in his backyard.
Skipping rocks.
Yeah, just skipping rocks out there on Lake Pleasant. Yeah, just go do that. Go find a nice, instead of an oblong football, find a nice flatter rock, Bo. That'd probably be better for you. Like, he is a guy that probably is a day 2 projection, right? And the Arizona Cardinals, you have this legitimately sourced, Johnny. They like the Clayton Tune as a backup going forward. They're fans of Clayton Tune. Like, I know people can point to the Cleveland game and say, well, look at that. He was historically bad, but there is confidence in Clayton Tune, and they have 6 picks in the top 100, and they're not going to utilize one of them on Bo Nix. I don't care if NFL Rums or whoever's saying that they looked extensively at him. It's just not. It's not in the cards for the Arizona Cardinals.
Here's how NFL Rums decided to report that. it was an extension, I believe, of that horrific Chris Trapasso mock draft from last week when Bo Nix went to the Cardinals at 27, and Chris himself said, like, I'm guessing, whatever, good value. So then NFL Rum sees that and is like, oh, let's just connect the dots. The Cardinals are targeting Bo Nix. There's
nobody
a quarterback.
Tagged. Yeah.
Right.
Like, yeah, right.
This is I love Twitter. It's a problem with Twitter. You got to know where to weed people out.
Lazy.
Couple super chats. Saint Blurry with a so generous super chat here on a Sunday night, $49.99. Thank you so much, Saint Blurry, for that.
Blurry?
That's fantastic. Podcast before bed, fire emoji. I mean, I hope this tunes the bandwagon up for this week. I hope this gets people excited, if you weren't already, for the kind of content and coverage that this brand, PHNX Cardinals, is going to bring to you, because we have the most loaded squad we have ever brought to Indianapolis. We are rolling 5 deep, multiple producers, a professional athlete, Britton Golden, ever heard of him? And we are ready to be boots on the ground in Indy to get you what you need this week. So you're flipping on NFL Network. That's great coverage there. Cardinals specific. It's round the clock here at PHNX Cardinals, Bo.
That's right. We're gonna talk to these prospects one-on-one. We're gonna divide and conquer. Johnny's gonna be at one end of the room talking to some athlete on one podium. I'm gonna be at another prospect's podium. Britton's gonna be talking to these guys, talking game as a former player. And then we brought somebody back from the dead, Shane Diefenbach.
Oh my goodness!
We've revived him, and he's going to rejoin the squad as officially as tomorrow. We travel out to Indianapolis, but just to put that to bed, and then to also pile on CBS's sports mock draft that we didn't mention on Friday's show. I mean, what an absurd thing! They had the Cardinals taking Dallas Turner 4th overall, as they have Dallas Turner as their 10th overall prospect, and they need a pass rusher. Maybe they'll just take this 10th best prospect over Malik Mabers or Joe Alt. That's not even the most egregious thing that they did that day. And then 27th overall, they're going to take Bo Nix, and they even admit they like Kyler Murray. They're moving forward with Kyler Murray. But man, check out the value on this quarterback.
Oh man,
check out this Toyota Camry here for $1,500. Wouldn't that look great? I know you've got a car you know that you love and it's reliable. What about another one? Why don't you just have 2 cars in your driveway? That makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it?
No, we need groceries. No, go buy a Tesla. Let's do it. Let's get it going. Pick 27. You guys are crushing it in the chat, by the way. Like this video. A couple gems, back-to-back super chats here. CG, Cards After Dark, $1.99. Bo, this is for you. Chances they land TJ Tampa. Pick 4, Bo.
I did not fire up crack this microphone and let you all see my house, my poor makeshift studio, so I can just take shots and be roasted over my horrid mock draft performance almost a week ago.
We will bury it, and then we'll come back from the dead each and every show we do. Topic 64, immense friend of the program, $4.99 super chat. Xavier Howard, the cornerback that is released or scheduled to be released from Miami. Got some age on him. Not sure if he's worth it. I reached out to somebody over the weekend. Haven't heard back as it relates to the Cardinals maybe having interest. But, I mean, he's 31. He was once upon a time expensive. But, Bo, to your point on Friday's show, he's just not available. Again, they're not going to sign guys who are over 30 who have a ton of mileage and then don't play full seasons. That's the Keim way, the Steve Keim way of going about free agency. So, I would think no, just guessing on Xavier Howard.
Yeah, as they kind of navigate the offseason, I think that they've got guys that they prioritize. They're going to fit a certain criteria, and I think 30 would take him out of that criteria. He's 31, right? And with the injuries, another strike against him. What he's going to want to command on the open market, and then what his production's been since his 10 interception season a couple years ago. He's got 2 picks over the last 2 seasons. It's just you haven't seen it. And then I don't know if the scheme fits very well. I mean, does what JG match up with what Vic Fangio like to do as far as Miami? I think some would agree to an extent with that. Does it kind of fit the game that Xavier Howard likes to play? I know there were some parting shots as he was released there from Miami. So I don't know. I don't know if that matches up schematically either. So I just don't know if it's a fit. But if it's like the end of March going into April or May and he's yet to sign, maybe it's somebody they say, hey, we can add some depth here. I mean, that's that's positional value, CBS Sports, if that's what you want to see what that actually looks like.
Milwaukee Braves, $9.99 super chat. Still have flashbacks from that guys that's hanging out at Radio Row. Scared. I hope you boys are doing good. Thank you so much, Milwaukee Braves. Hopefully we don't get anything like that this week. Well, we won't, because typically we have a setup. I don't know how it's going to be this year, where there's a backdrop, and then where they had us last year, there was nobody behind us. It was literally just us.
It's just the prospects that would go around us to try to use the restroom. And then Johnny, if he saw somebody who wanted to talk to, he would then follow them to the restroom.
It's one of the few restrooms that are available. It's next to, so where it's situated, a Radio Row combine. They put the media in a big scrum. It's very, like, if you compare it to like the Super Bowl media room, it's about a tenth of the size. And we're all huddled in there together. And then there's the bench press setup, which is right next to it, which I've heard a rumor that's gone now where we're set up, which is sad. And then there's about 20 podiums next to that. And yeah, when athletes, if they go from the podium and they have to use the restroom, they got to walk by us. And that's when I had a fateful encounter with Anthony Richardson last year. So who will I discuss or talk with in the bathroom this week? TBD. You'll have to tune into the show.
Also have another big time super chat here. Or was that the one from before?
I think it was from before.
All right.
But if you want,
big thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Super chats are flying. Dollar bills are flying with our friends at BetMGM. I hit my parlay of the week with BetMGM today. No big deal. Suns money line and the over. Easy cash. And again, cash is the name of the game at BetMGM. And they're going to hook you up with some free bonus bets. If you're a new customer, ever heard of the Bet 5? Get 150 instantly right now. We've got spring training kicking off here in the Valley. We've got Coyotes. We've got Suns, of course, back in action, college hoops, and more. March Madness right around the corner. Bet 5, get 150 instantly with our friends, dear friends at BetMGM. New customers can bet just $5 in their account on their iOS, Android, or on their desktop, BetMGM.com. If you place that $5 standard odds price bet, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets, regardless of the outcome of your wager. So if today would have been my first bet ever, I get my payout plus those $150 in bonus bets. I can use them or I lose them. But you got to sign up with BetMGM. You got to tell them PHNX Cardinals sent you with that bonus code PHNX. Check out the show notes for full details. Now listen to my guy Damon Dog talk about it in the disclaimer.
Promo call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
We love things big over here at PHNX Cardinals, PHNX Sports. How about big covers from the Phoenix Suns? -3.5, and they win by 10. We also love the Big OGs. We love our partnership with OGs brands. They got the Big OGs gummies. Got to check them out for yourself. It's a mega version of Peg's Raspberry Orange. And that Rick Simpson oil, one of the company's most popular products, perforated into 10 slices. One big old OGs perforated in 10 slices, 100 milligrams THC. It's unbelievable. It tastes like that freshly squeezed juice with that live rosin. It's created through the pressing process. Also, it's perfect time popping OGs right now for PHNX Cardinals after dark. Maybe pop one of those sleep time gummies. We'll put you to sleep. We want our boring antidotes, but more than anything, those OG sleep time gummies are doing most of the work, putting you to sleep, keeping you to sleep. It's that aquaberry flavor. It's delicious. Check out their full product line, ogsbrands.com. That's ogsbrands.com. On your socials as well, at ogsbrands. Got to be 21 years or older and find them in your local dispensary all around the Valley.
Rick saying, PHNX full coverage, Bo interviewing athletes on the floor, Johnny interviewing athletes in the bathroom. Very, very appropriate. Somebody called it earlier, Ryan. We could title the segment "Quick Piss with Johnny." I'd have to be going all day then if that was the case. But you never know who you're going to run into. It's a much more intimate setting, and it very much feels like, as opposed to Super Bowl, like stuff's just up for grabs. Like the way Indianapolis is situated, obviously Vegas and last year in the Valley, everything's spread out. Whereas this isn't a shot at Indy. It's a very condensed process. It's a very condensed event. There's like 2 to 4 restaurants that everybody goes to, like a handful of bars max. and just like 2 hotels, and that's it. So if you're like in the area, just walking around the street, like you're liable to see people, which is great. And it's great that they decided to continue it in Indianapolis. So were the rumors they were going to move it to LA, which would have been gross. I think it's a beauty of the NFL offseason where you can have this middle market here in middle America, and you could just say, well, they do a great job, and they do. The Colts and company do a tremendous job hosting it. Just keep it there. It makes things that much easier.
Yeah, it's got charm to it, right? And you don't want to take away, it's a big city, obviously, with a small town charm, as many Midwest cities have. And you don't want to take that away. Like, let's not make everything a big city event. We can keep the Super Bowls, strict to big cities and big venues. And but yeah, let's just leave this how it's been. I like this from Ryan. How about Johnny should sit there with a bow tie and mints and ask guys questions while taking a leak? Good content.
Excuse me, have you met with the Arizona Cardinals? Hey, when you wrap it up right there, do you mind if we make eye contact? I can talk about your meetings that you've had.
Kevin wants to know why we're streaming so late. That's because tomorrow's a travel day. We're going to be making our way to Indianapolis, so we're not going to be at our usual scheduled 4:30. We just want to make sure we get a little pre-combine preview going on. So that's why we're going. Thanks for tuning in, Kevin. Lots of great stuff. AU addicts jumping in here. And no, I'm not sauce, but I am having a nice Four Peaks beer at the end of a weekend. I appreciate it.
It's great. So confirmed, Jonathan Gannon, Monti Ossenfort, both speaking on Tuesday, which the on-field workouts began like Wednesday or Thursday, like late in the week. The meaty stuff with some real tangible quotes and comments, like we haven't heard from Gannon since the season ended, is going to happen early in the week. Everybody is scheduled to talk for the most part around the NFL, and the Cards brass is no different. So we will likely go live with our show on Tuesday. I think it's East Coast time, Indy, which is 3-hour difference from here, 2 or 3 hour difference. Two. So we will go live at 3 p.m. Arizona time on Tuesday. 5 p.m. Indy time is the schedule right now, and that could change. So have your notifications on with PHNX Sports. Ring that little bell icon so you know when we go live this week, because it could unfortunately differ day to day with like scheduling. But the good news is like on Friday, somebody was messaging me on Twitter, like, no way Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be in Indianapolis. No, like all these guys come and they talk. Like they may not all work out. Marvin may not work out. He's speaking to the media at 8 a.m. on Friday morning. Like we're going to be able to ask him what he thinks about Kyler Murray and maybe carrying on Larry Fitzgerald's legacy. We're going to ask him all that. They have to come. Like Jalen Carter, didn't he show up last year after everything went down? I don't know if
he was there before.
Right. Like
he was there before. He was like his podium was ready to go, and the news about him being having a warrant out for his arrest because of his involvement in that just tragic incident involving his teammate. I mean, he was there ready, and I think he was even going to work out.
Yeah.
And then he ended up coming back. He didn't talk with the media or the press, but he interviewed with teams. I believe he talked to the Arizona Cardinals from what I remember. I think I asked JG about him.
He did, yeah.
He had a nice conversation with him at the combine. But, when you look at everything as far as the organization, they just didn't have the luxury of taking a player with that type of, red flags around him. So Ryan Corley saying, got Circle K today, popped an OGs and grabbed some Four Peaks. I hit the PHNX trifecta. How about a
nice little Sunday there?
You're watching PHNX Cardinals After Dark as well, and maybe watch PHNX Suns. I mean, that's more than the trifecta.
That's it. That's aces. And speaking of aces, you reported, Bo, on Wednesday, we're going to have the revised, updated NFL PA grades.
Right.
It was that fateful Wednesday last year. We were doing our regular show, or we were getting ready for it, and those PA grades dropped, and it was a bombshell. It was right after the Jalen Carter stuff happened. It was bombshell after bombshell. Yeah. What should we do? Like PA grade predictions? Like they were second to last year to Washington. Now Washington's, Snyder owned the team, or did he own the team this year? I can't even remember when he did. Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to be revised. Cardinals have made some tweaks. Do you care to go on the record? What do you think the grades are going to look like this year?
Man, I think it's really going to come down to, I think they can get improvement just based on better culture around the organization, because I think, and also you have to take in consideration some of these guys, or getting opportunities that they weren't necessarily going to receive anywhere else around the league. So maybe they're like just the happy to be there mentality. Like we did see upgrades to the facility. We did see where they got knocked for not having the ability to take care of players' families. I think they added that. So there wasn't any like huge overhauls outside of the indoor practice facility in Tempe. We never really got access to the weight room. And as far as the meals, I don't believe they were buying meals any longer. So that's just baby steps. But when you looked at where the grades were, Johnny, and I just pulled them up, I mean, the locker room F, the travel obviously got a B plus because of their own treatment of families got an F, nutrition they got an F, weight room they got an F minus, strength staff got an A minus.
Forgot how bad these were.
Yeah.
Oh my man.
Training room got F minus. So I think the treatment of families is going to go up. I think the nutrition, because that was a big thing with Jonathan Gannon. He got in there and made sure that they just, your body's your temple and you're big time on that. I think that you'll see the weight room or the nutrition go way up.
There's nowhere to go but up with these. But
I don't know about the training room. I didn't see wholesale changes coming in the training room. It got an unbelievable, unprecedented F minus.
F plus, maybe? Can we get an F plus? Can we get a D minus? They stopped making people pay for their food. That was one of the biggest things last year. Is like
I think they get into the late 20s, and that's improvement, right? Progress. I'm not being. Do you think that they can make a huge jump?
No. Like, if you're an F, and they were an F last year, you're not saying we're going to be an A next year. No,
Right.
like, they're going to probably, best case scenario, they move to like a D. Can they get to a D plus? And then does that get you around 25, 26, 27? They were humbled significantly. Like, you can't hide from that. Like, you can put on a facade and say we're the greatest and we host Super Bowls and we have private jets, but then like the dog days of the year, players think that your facility is trash. Like floorboards sticking up in the weight room. They are going to have to continue to get better. The good news is Ossenfort and Gannon are on this and they're in Bidwell's ear. So I'm working. I have no idea when they're going to get this done, but like they need to upgrade. The locker rooms are not good. Everybody knows that. I would say that needs to be the next thing on the list. The locker rooms are kind of embarrassing. They're not paying for food anymore. Nutrition's getting revamped. They got a spot for families and their kids. All important. We need to see that should be the new. Hey, are you guys getting uniforms this year? Hey, your locker rooms look like a high school locker room. What's the deal with that? Can we get it to like MAC level locker rooms at college football level? Because it is, not to knock them, but it's not an NFL locker room.
Yeah, Anthony's right. How bad was Washington if they were even worse? Yeah, I mean, that was Johnny's point. I mean, under the Snyder era, it was brutal.
Yeah.
And it was mostly, I think they got knocked because of how bad the culture was. And that's my point, where I think that the Cardinals, their culture and some of these things that Ossenfort and Gannon actually have an impact on. And Johnny has this resource as well. And he said this a couple times that like Bidwell is very receptive and open to all of their recommendations. And as far as some of these go, it's just not a quick fix. And as long as they're making, progress to that, that's really all you can really look for this organization.
Michael understands, like, if this is impacting their ability to like lure free agents and sign draft picks, and it hasn't yet, then he's going to make changes, because you can't, to keep Gannon and Ossenfort, assuming that they pop and they have success here, to keep good people, you have to surround them with good amenities, and you have to act like a big boy operation. Like, if there's a free agent that you want to sign and they come back and they're like, I'm just not impressed with your facility, that's on one person. And so I think they have, unfortunately, prioritized the wrong kind of thing. The private jet was cool when it happened. It's nice for the players, but other teams don't have that. I would say, it goes back to kind of MO about like, oh, buy, a second or third car, but you're home, you don't have groceries for your house, like you can't feed your kids, like work your way up to that. You have an A grade and you want to buy a PG for the team, awesome. But like get your locker room situated, get your weight room to a point where it's first class, because that at the end of the day, that's going to be the stuff that really matters, especially when you're selling free agents on. I get it. You can go get JJ Watt in your PJ, but like, everybody else is going to use that locker room regardless. So that I would love to see that be tackled soon. I think it will be.
Yeah, I think they'll probably go weight room and then locker room.
Yeah.
They just need the opportunity, really, because they get JG in there. You got Ossenfort in there. They evaluated. They did as much as they could before they started really getting players back in that building. There wasn't really any time. And now I think I would be shocked if we get back into that building facility in Tempe, and they've moved a lot of like just the daily employees, not part of the football operations department, out of the building. I wouldn't be surprised if that's to make, some big time upgrades to the facility in Tempe. I'd be pretty shocked.
Ryan brings up a good point about when pipes would burst on fans. I think in Washington, does anybody remember that viral video that went out of the Washington stands? And it's not funny because people got hurt, collapsing as they were like leaning in to like try to give players high fives or whatever. Like that's what the Cardinals were going up against with the Commanders. But they got a long way to go. So I don't expect like Wednesday to be like overly positive, but nothing will ever top the shock and awe of last year. Back-to-back super chats. You guys are so generous tonight. Appreciate it. Varela 805 1999. Yo, what's up, Johnny and Bo? Usually listen to the pod when I'm winding down for the night, along with my brother. Finally able to catch a show live. Keep killing it. Love all the coverage. Thank you so much, my guy.
Thank you.
It's fun to be able to do these kind of impromptu, and let's just connect maybe with a different segment of our audience where people maybe can't hit the show live. So that very kind super chat, and hope you and your brother are doing well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good little bonding experience to listen to Cards football breakdown. We're just grateful to be a part of this community, and that just privileged that you guys listen to us at all. That's awesome. So we appreciate kind words there from Vieira.
Adam H 1999. Have fun in Indy, boys. Stoked to see you guys. Would be most excited with who you guys would see most excited. 27. I think we all know who we want at number 4. I think we do. And we're going to talk about some odds with the 4th overall pick here in a little bit. But most excited at 27, I would say best available tackle, and probably like a Tyler Guyton at this point. Like realistically speaking, like I saw some really, and thank you so much for that super chat. I'm very, very generous. I saw some not so great reports on Mims, the tackle out of Georgia, where I read some stuff, been hurt. It screamed kind of bust. And I don't want to put a label on him like that, but if like Fuega or Guyton fell into a striking distance with the Cardinals' second pick, Bo, that would be best case scenario in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that Guyton or maybe even a Byron Murphy the second, the defensive tackle at a Texas, but trenches, primarily the trenches on both offensive and defensive side of the football. I think that would serve the Arizona Cardinals really, really well. So, and the question here we have as far as Ryan jumping in with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Ryan Carley. Can Jaden surpass Drake at the combine? Now I'm a little skeptical that that's possible as the reports are out, Ryan, as far as what Daniels is going to do at the combine. And Ian Rappaport earlier had it out there, along with Caleb Williams. Jaden Daniels is pretty much saving all the workout stuff for his pro day. So what we know so far is Michael Penix and JJ McCarthy and Bo Nix, they all plan to work out and throw. But as far as Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, they're just not going to throw. So I don't think that's going to happen as far as him jumping them at this stage in the pre-draft process.
I want to get to this comment here.
And it's pretty close anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Did you see the video of Drake May throwing the ball 82 yards and hitting the crossbar?
Yeah, I mean, he's got freakish skill set. I honestly just think it's your personal preference.
It's the tape versus the skill set. I think that's really what Jaden Daniels has the best tape, and Drake May has the best skill set.
I just think Daniels makes more sense for who's running the show in Washington. I think Drake May makes a ton of sense for New England. David puts this in the chat, and I'll address this to you, Bo, and maybe you throw it back at me here. So Bidwell was on local radio this week and was not asked about any allegations or scorecards or anything negative. And this has been in the news cycle. PFF picked it up, and Kyle Odegaard, friend of our show. And so rather than to focus on what they didn't do, Bo, what's something you would have asked Bidwell if given the opportunity?
Man, that's a great question.
It is.
We've obviously talked about this a little bit off air. And Kyle Odegaard, broke this down and thought that Arizona sports kind of dropped the ball, and to say the least, as far as what is their journalistic duty in that situation, and that they were a bit beholden to Bidwell because they are the flagship station of the Cardinals. And I understand that they have that relationship, and that relationship, especially when you're talking to the top guy, you can feel like you're putting something in jeopardy. But I think that you have a responsibility to ask about, probably the more pressing of all the issues, as far as from the Athletic and the ESPN article, as far as just the culture in the organization, and are they doing what they feel is right in fixing the issues that came out in that report. And I don't think that that's out of bounds, and I don't care who would be kind of policing that and being a gatekeeper to that. So it's unfortunate that it was just a slow pitch softball, and I think that there was an opportunity that was missed, and even if there was conversations had before that hand, you have a responsibility to at least ask. And I feel like I've been in that situation before and can confidently say that a hard question has been asked before, and that Bidwell isn't going to be blindsided by it.
No.
I mean, so it is what it is. I mean, if that was the handshake agreement, then fine. But yeah, I think otherwise you're not going to have a chance to hear from him, and that's too bad, because I think people wanted to kind of have an update on that.
Yeah, and I think you could even spin it with him when you're discussing it with him. It's been a really kind of tumultuous 18 months, and you mentioned
Sure.
that you're in a much different spot. What are you doing differently that you can highlight to really kind of combat a lot of the negative press that's surrounded this organization? And then he can focus on a positive answer to
Right.
that. But the fact that you're not even acknowledging it is, I mean, at the end of the day, it is really disappointing, because you only get so many chances. We would love an opportunity to speak with Michael Bidwell on this show. We're certainly critical.
Yeah.
And people can call us fanboys and fan culture or whatever you want to do. First of all, I take that as an immense compliment, because I'm with all 162 fans of the Arizona Cardinals right now in this chat. But I would want to know, like, and here's another thing. When I interviewed, her name escapes me, a woman from the Athletic that wrote one of the recent
Caitlin
articles. Yes,
Yeah.
who did a tremendous job, who wrote one of the articles about the Cardinal toxic work culture. And she even told me, either on air or off air, and it wasn't off the record, that, to Bidwell's credit, and you can combat him and you can say he's a terrible owner, and you have every right to do that. To Bidwell's credit, he said he responded to the article and gave a statement talking about wanting to be better. I don't know if Dan Snyder does that. And I feel like Michael Bidwell, if when asked and put a microphone in his face, like, he will give a response. Make him give a response at the end of the day. Make him say exactly what he's thinking, what he's feeling. And he is very political in that sense. And he, when they host Super Bowls and he puts on a great performance for the other two teams that come here, and he's very much a politician in that sense, like, he should have an answer ready. And I think he would most times.
Yeah. And the two guys, Bickley and Murata, who are running the interview, I think they do great work. I'm not going to crush them for not. I'm sure they have their reasons behind it, and they don't have to come out and defend themselves for it. But I think everybody agrees that they would have liked to see at least one question over the last, for an answer for any of the several things that came out over the last 12 months that's, not great about this organization.
Oh my God, this comment's so great. Adam H, this is a deep cut. Johnny isn't afraid to go after Billy Price and then let Bo deal with it. So the the sauce behind that is we ripped Billy Price on this show. I did. And then he went up to Bo in the locker room because Bo was there and tried to square up Bo. Something to that effect.
He did, yeah. He came up to me, and I don't think I've had ever tweeted about Billy Price outside of, maybe roster moves.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey, anytime you want to have a conversation, I'm open to having a conversation."
I'm sorry.
I was caught off guard. I was like, "Okay, let's do it. Anytime you want to talk." And I'm like, "What the hell was that about?" But I don't know. And he's the guy that claims not to be on Twitter, but somehow he's reading tweets about
everyone's on Twitter. Everyone and their family and their parents and their, second cousin is on Twitter. And if they're not, they're getting stuff sent to them by family members. So Rudy, $4.99 super chat. Have fun in Indy, boys. Make sure to ask the prospects if they've got the fire in their gut. Absolutely. Coming up on over a year anniversary of the fire in their gut moment. But I think, Bo, plenty of gut fire candidates, prospects for the Cardinals to target this year.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I think that's really what they're going to try to decipher now. I mean, they've seen a bunch of players work out, practice at the Senior Bowl. Obviously, there's all the tape from the previous season, but now they get to really get down and interview these guys and figure out what they're all about. I think that's really where Ossenfort and JG and their whole staff can kind of separate themselves as far as the guys who, like JG says, love ball and the guys who don't. Like, that's such a big part of this. And we've seen in previous busts, guys who don't really like football. They're just there. It's a job to them. I don't think that that's the type of caliber of player that they're looking for.
Drop a like on this video. We're going to talk Marv and Justin Fields here in a second. But something else I'd drop a like for, our friends at Circle K. Become a part of the Inner Circle today by joining America's Thirst Stop. I'm a member. Bo's a member. Damon Dog, he's a member. I'm a Michael Wilson. He's loading up on Circle K goodies like everybody else. Join that free new membership program. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, and then save 3 cents per gallon every single day after the fact. Every 6 free selection on things like pizza, coffee, ice cold fountain drinks, and more. I was just at my local Circle K this weekend, picked up a huge Polar Pop, unsweet tea. They got a ton of original branded Circle K snacks that are just as good, if not better, than their competitors. And again, you want to save money every time you go fill up, regardless of what you're doing. You got to be a part of the Inner Circle today. Download the app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details, Bo.
We're less than 2 weeks away from Phoenix Raceway hosting the Shriners Children 500 at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through 10th. And like, NASCAR is not for me. Well, it's more than that. It's just a great experience. Get out under the sun in the renovated Phoenix Raceway out there in Avondale and just have a great time. It's going to be a great time for all the family. Families are welcome, whether you're a diehard racing fan or it just simply looks like that great day. The event promises to be fun for everyone with the live entertainment outside of the racing. It's going on the track. It's best in class fan experience. Racing's toughest drivers go for 3 days straight with all the action surrounded by those beautiful Estrella Mountains. Get your tickets to the Shriners Children's 500 at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through 10th, and get those good vibes for the whole family. Get your reserved grandstand tickets right now. PhoenixRaceway.com. That's PhoenixRaceway.com.
Benjamin Albright, great follow on Twitter, NFL Insider. You're going to be joining us later this week at the Combine, putting together some hot fire tweets earlier today. I think he was already en route to Indy, but one of his tweets that I thought was pretty alarming for Chicago Bear fans, take the frosting off of people really kind of smoothing Justin Fields' trade value. Albright coming out and saying like couple thirds is what he's hearing is the market for Justin Fields.
Wow.
So a late first, my ass, I think is going to be more so, maybe a 2, maybe a late 2, or a couple 3s for Fields. And again, like,
well, they can get the 20th overall pick from Pittsburgh
man,
and package that with 9 and get ahead of the Cardinals. And then they'll have Caleb and then they'll have Marvin Harrison Jr. It's going to be awesome, man. It's like, come on, Bears. You can't be pipe dreaming like this. If you're having the number 1 pick, back-to-back seasons now and having your own. I mean, it's unreal just where their heads are at. It's just, come on. And then also there's the cult of Justin Fields. It's like, it couldn't be. It can't be. Not our sweet Justin. He's got to be worth more than just a couple thirds.
He wins 30% of his games. He's worth 3-1 by himself. Have you seen him? You see that run he had 2 years ago? I like Justin Fields. I can't wait to be pro Justin Fields again when this is over.
Yeah.
But I think it was Albert Breer who said that he thinks a trade's going to be done this week. Like, we got home from Indy last year and the Bears had traded the first overall pick to Carolina. I'm shocked that the Bears are going to take the podium. And, I would assume that try to get this done ASAP so you can be all in with Caleb and his people this week.
Well, they did it.
And who knows?
I mean, all three parties talked last week, right?
But I just feel like it's different when you're going to have one-on-one time with Caleb Williams this week. I would want to have that put to bed and just start, going.
Do they benefit? Do they benefit though? Don't they benefit? Like, get one of these quarterback hungry teams on the ropes a little bit. Like, if I guess there's not going to, do they benefit by waiting after free agency before the draft and get one of these teams that might be offering a third? And if they strike out in free agency, that
I don't think you have the luxury of that. Not with Justin's people. And
Justin said on that podcast with Amon-Ra St. Brown and his brother that he just wants this. He just wants clarity about what's happening, what's next.
I think the longer you wait, the more teams talk themselves, and we've said this on this show, talk themselves into the prospects, talk themselves into, the shines kind of come off of Fields. Everybody loves to romanticize prospects. We do that on this show with a couple different guys. I think you get to like late March, early April, and it's like, I don't want to spend my picks on Justin Fields. I want to go out and I want to get a mid-rounder from, the Pac-12, and I feel good about that. It happens every year. You lose, the longer you wait, you lose cachet, you lose leverage, and I would be disappointed if Fields isn't traded this week while we're in, Indianapolis, because right now it's pretty wild. You pulled up some odds from our friends at DraftKings, Bo, and you posted on Twitter. Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Chicago Bears has the second best odds, not New England, but to Chicago at plus 300, which I think is ridiculously high. And I think that the minute that Caleb Williams becomes a Chicago Bear, in the sense that they trade Fields, like, just take them off. They're not an option, as you mentioned. Like, they're not coming up from 9 to 3, paying a QB tax to take a receiver. It's not happening. So and you also couple that with the fact Cardinals are minus 200 to take MHJ.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy to see the Bears on there, but it also doesn't, have to be. I joked about it. It doesn't have to be the number one pick that they would take Marvin Harrison Jr. It's just if he lands with the Bears, right, and that they select him. And then you see, like, the true wild card is what the Patriots are going to do, and the Patriots have the same odds, right, as the Bears, don't they?
I think they were a little less. They were plus 350.
Right. And then the Arizona Cardinals at minus 200, can't even get close to even money there. You'd have to maybe, I don't even think you can parlay these picks to get any extra value there. So it's pretty good feeling sitting here on February 25th. Maserati Marv is the sharps in Vegas believe that's not an overwhelming. It's not Caleb Williams, I think, was minus 800 to go to the Bears.
Yeah.
So
I think that's getting taken off the board.
Once you approach that territory, that's when you can start to feel real comfortable, even get a jersey made, maybe.
I think the intrigue is going to be what happens at 2 and 3 with the other teams and which quarterbacks they prefer, and maybe who New England trades out with. I think that's, like, I feel like 1 and 4 are put to bed, in my opinion. We know the Cardinals are going to take him if he's there. And outside of, here's what I think is really fascinating, and this could change. Marvin could put on a show this week and it could change everything. I feel like the narrative has not gone, Patriots just have to go BPA, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr. I feel like the narrative on Twitter recently is like a bunch of teams have Malik Mabers over Marvin Harrison Jr. And don't throw generational out with MHJ and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's the opposite approach. Like, of course he's going to be there because he's not even the best player at his position, which is wild that people say that, by the way. And I love Malik Mabers. This is not a hot take. that I think he's going to be some bust or some scrub. He can also be great, but I think we've really hit crazy season when you're talking about Marvin Harrison Jr., number one, not the best player in the draft, and number two, that he's not the best player at his position.
Yeah. I mean, but that's a testament to Neighbors to an extent, right? But you're right. It is reaching a bit of a fever pitch as far as what are we doing here? I know we're trying to create some sort of drama surrounding this draft, and it's not great when you kind of have 1, 2, 3, and 4 set. But I mean, any other draft, right? We've heard it several times. Malik Mabers, the top wide receiver in that draft. So that's what people are going off, and they just want to kind of, and especially when Neighbors, more than likely, and we'll see what his workout schedule is, if he's going to participate or if he's going to just join Jaden Daniels as just a pro day guy and maybe just interviewing this week. Be really intriguing to see. But yeah, I mean, still, regardless, the Cardinals being in the driver's seat for old Marvin Harrison Jr. That's great. Marvin Harrison Jr. for everybody. Talk about high odds. He's minus 650 for being the first non-quarterback selected. So, and then you've got not even Malik Neighbors is plus 1,200 as
those are pretty good odds. That's pretty solid if you can get that. Something. I mean, you're just banking on something happening between now and then. Aaron, $4.99 super chat. Late night PHNX. Keep up the great work, guys. Can't wait for all the combine content. Thank you so much, Aaron. We can't wait to deliver it for you and everybody else. And again, let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear, what questions you'd love to ask of Gannon and Ossenfort. Here's topic 64. Back better than ever. $4.99 super chat. Huff, Armstrong, Uche. If we get one of them, who would you choose? I did Uche earlier this week, Bo, so I'll defer to him.
Just kind of recency bias. I like Huff. I think what he did with the Jets this year and not playing full-time snaps, and that could be a similar rotation that the Cardinals run out there and that he could play in. I think that he would be a great signing for the Cardinals coming over from the Jets to the Redbirds. We're going to do a quick mock draft before we get out of here.
Oh my goodness. All right. Yes, we can. But before we get to that, I alluded to it. Go PHNX.com this week. Never been a better time to become a diehard. Pick up a free hat and or shirt every single year. You are a diehard. So that's number one. Number two, our PHNX Cardinals member Discord is going to have the inside track for all the behind the scenes content footage you can't get anywhere else. Yes, our shows are going to be loaded. Our social media is going to be on point, as is. It always is. But if you're like, I want that sweet, sweet 10% that you're not going to find anywhere else, you got to be a diehard at gophnx.com. Become a diehard at the link at the top of the screen. Pop in. Become a staple of the PHNX Cardinals Discord. Our Discord was popping today with our Coyote friends on their diehard exclusive event. I'm soup jealous, but we're going to have our own this offseason. But you got to become a diehard at gophnx.com. Send us a screen capture on Twitter when you get it done. A retweet for the fellas, for the ladies out there that get that done. And yeah, the content, it will be unmatched, and you want to see it exclusively. Plus, we will do a live Q&A from the site of Indianapolis's Combine this week with our diehards. No questions asked. We're doing it. Whatever's on the table, we're going to stream it from the Discord. You want to be a part of that.
Danny Redbird's asking, are you guys going to be live on draft day? Of course we are. We are actually just dialing in the details of our draft party. And then, of course, we're live all day 2 coverage as well. As we just won't be doing probably a live show somewhere. But yeah, you can go crazy with us, even though you're in SoCal. You can even make the drive into Phoenix, and we'll let you know with ample time where we're going to be doing that draft party. Also, while you're in town, pick up a couple Arizona lottery tickets. How about getting in on the new promotion from Arizona Adventure, AZ Adventure, where they've got 3 iconic landscapes on their tickets: Picacho Peak, Monument Valley, and Camelback Mountain. These tickets, you can win up to $50,000. Also, you can go out and participate in this promotion where they got destination coordinates on their website. You can check in. It's geo-located adventures at 10 destinations across the state, from Flagstaff to Yuma. Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games. It's about winning prizes. It's also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can win more travel prizes in cash.
Good hell. It's 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. We're doing a mock draft with our friends at PFF.
Sick.
The mock draft simulator. We're just going to do 2 rounds because it's late. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Here's the deal. We did one of these last week. Things went off the rails. Dueling mock drafts. We're not going to do that tonight. Just an old-fashioned 2-rounder with our friends at PFF. The Jaden Daniels situation hopefully gets remedied with the big board and what the Patriots.
Can you do something for me with these? Oh, you already.
What do
get out of this?
I can go back. Let me go back.
Go back.
Okay, hang on one sec. Here's the homepage. Free advertising for Pro Football Focus. They do great stuff. We have a bunch of their peeps on. All right, what do you want me to do?
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to use the slider there and get the positional value up, and then the needs down a little bit. There you go. Select the Cardinals, get the 2-rounder in there, and I think the positional value will have the Patriots try to land at least a quarterback or maybe not a wide receiver in this draft. But let's see.
All right, let's get this party started. Nope, didn't help us at all. Damn it. All right, we're going to trade. We're trading out of this. Definitely not trading with Philadelphia. Good hell. What is going on here? We might have to outlaw these mock drafts.
Get out of this one. Get out of this one, dude. Roll the dice one more time. Just one more time. That's all I asked for you.
Here's what we're doing. Do you want me to just draft for the Patriots?
No.
You don't want me to do that?
No. We got it. Just one more time. It's going to work.
All right. Positional value, draft for needs. Probably. Let's just
take it down.
Take that down?
Yeah. Way down.
Well, the Patriots have a need a quarterback, though.
No, you're fine.
I think we want that up.
Honey, just trust me. Take it all the way. There you go.
You want that down?
Yeah.
I'm not trusting you. This hasn't worked yet. All right. Third time's the charm.
Mm-hmm.
No, didn't work. Didn't work at all. Cooper DeJean, 7th overall. I mean, do we need to start using a different site? People in the chat, do you have a better recommendation? We got 5 options to trade with, but they're all not great. All right. Mm-hmm. I'm forcing a trade here because I want this to go well. We're gonna call Tennessee. They love trading with the Cardinals. They're coming up 4, and then we're gonna do 38. Would you do 2 2s to go from 4 to 7?
Sure.
But realistically speaking, if Tennessee's like 38 and a future 2, would you do that?
Probably not. But
you wouldn't do that in real. You would have to get a 1 from them.
Yeah, since we're just doing 2 rounds, let's just go back and we'll pick for the Patriots.
You're making me start this mock draft over again on a Sunday night.
One more time. Just one more time.
You're gonna pick for the Patriots, okay? But then it's gonna show up on our results and stuff. Gross. All right, so 2 rounds.
You don't even have to do that. I'm picking for the Pats, dude.
I know. Okay. Patriots, Cardinals. Let's do it. Start the draft. Marvin, and I got to scroll down. Are you cool with Jaden Daniels, or would you rather go Kool-Aid McKinstry?
Let's take Jaden Daniels, 22nd ranked prospect. How disrespectful. All right.
Fix that, Trevor Sycamore. We know you can pull some strings. This is your big board. Marvin, no brainer. Yep. I'm going to go Marvin at 4, which is the way God intended it to be. I do want to check Brock Bowers at 5. Good hell. 27th pick. Mims buzz factor. I told you I don't like him. I don't like the fact he didn't play a bunch of games. He missed time. These are 75 as your PFF grade as a collegiate player on the best team in college football. I just don't. I'm getting Mekhi Becton vibes from Mims a little bit.
All right. I just think he's physically and athletically, he's a rock solid prospect, and where he kind of falls short as far as his technique and his mechanics, I think that can be worked on. But yeah, sure. If you like Fontenot potentially out of Washington better.
Turn the Ball State tape on where he got worked. I don't like that at all. I'm playing for Ball State.
That was probably a game where they barely even ran their full offense. Probably smoked the Redbirds of Ball State. All right. So who do you like? Rakesaw. Guyton's there. Why not take Guyton?
Yeah, I like Guyton a lot. So now we're back at 34 with the Patriots, and I would love to just give the Patriots Mims now. See, look, word's out that Mims is a bust and no one wants him. We're gonna give him to the Patriots and just laugh at them. All right, so we're back. I'm gonna tell you right now, Zach Frazier, double up an O-line isn't the best idea for some people. You get Zach Frazier and Tyler Guyton and Marvin Harrison Jr.
No, I think you need to start rebuilding the defense at this point. So I'd like to see, and no TJ Tampa jokes in the chat. I won't accept it. But what do we got defensive line? We need some beef.
Well, Darius is here.
Yeah, I think that's the play.
We're going to disappoint a lot of people when the draft rolls around and we're not getting Marvin at 4, and we're not getting Guyton at 27, and we're not getting Darius Robinson at 35. I feel like we've done this mock maybe 20 times.
Well, I don't want those vibes going in Indy right now. I mean, for you to just be a buzzkill and say, "Hey, you're not getting anybody," that's great, Johnny. That's great.
I was ready to diversify this mock a little bit, but you're going chalk. You could just air one of our previous mocks that we've done. No one would have known. What'd the Patriots get? Oh my God. It's a disaster. C-. He's on throwing tomorrow. Not throwing this week. Let's look at where some of these guys went. JJ McCarthy, 19th to the Rams. Jerzon Newton, 20th. I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm the Vikings and I take Cooper DeJean at 11th, I don't know if I can root for that team anymore if I'm a Vikings fan. All this talk about you guys are trading up, and then you take Cooper DeJean at 11th overall, who also is not competing at the combine, by the way. I don't know if that's because he's hurt, though.
It is. He's coming off the lower leg injury, like he plays for the Vancouver Canucks.
All right, I won't rip him then.
Okay.
All right, a nice little cutie of a mock draft here on a Sunday night, impromptu with your boys. So much good stuff going on. You got to be subscribed at gophnx.com, become a diehard. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. And a reminder, no show tomorrow, travel day. So just rewatch this show like 6 times and then hit that like button. Comment down below what your question is for Gannon and Ossenfort. Bo and I will sift through the comments. I promise you we will go through them. We will take the ones that are consensus liked in the comments down below. I love the chat. Not in the chat. It's got to be in the comments. Put a question for Ossenfort or Gannon, and I promise we will ask him.
Yeah, we will. Emma Clark, former producer extraordinaire of this show, asking what the hell we're doing up at this time. So our family members, we are, the grind continues. It never stops. And we're not live tomorrow, so we needed to get our live show for the people. And Johnny trashed it because we did a mock draft similar to some other mock drafts, I guess. But make sure you like this video. Make sure that, of course, you check out gophnx.com. Become of course, diehard today, and you'll get exclusive access to that diehard chat on the Discord. You won't miss out on anything throughout this week at the Combine. Like this video and subscribe to PHNX Sports. For Johnny Venerable, for Damon Dog. We'll talk to you guys the next time from Indianapolis on Tuesday. We'll talk to you soon.
We all silly like the mayor.